Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we are continuing our ongoing coverage of the civil war taking place inside the former state of Ethiopia. So, there has been a lot of information moving around the wires over the past 24, 48 hours, especially in regards to this alleged peace agreement. I would have to step back and call it something else. And what that something else is, and again, this is based on the practices of Isaias Afwerki, the practices of Abiy Ahmed, the lack of rule of law inside the former state of Ethiopia. Law is what Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki says it is. There is no due process. There may be the appearance of due process, but in the end, the courts, the police, the prosecutors do exactly what Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki say. So as opposed to a peace agreement, if, and this is a big if this is followed through, is an extermination agreement. So why do I say that? Well, first, again, if, and as I said before, this is a big, monolithic if the Tigrayan Defense Forces are disarmed. Not just heavy weapons, but the removal of light weapons. Much of what the Tigrayan Defense Forces are able to do on the ground is with light weapons. Not so much the heavy weapons, but masses of light infantry with lighter weapons. RPGs, sniper systems, AK-47s, heavy machine guns. If the Tigrayan Defense Forces are disarmed, then what prevents the Abiy loyalist forces from coming in and exterminating? And this, in all probability, would not be done with eyes watching. This would be done in a slow, methodical process. And again, this is hypothetical. This is, in all probability, not going to happen because, again, this extermination agreement is but a piece of paper. So again, if the Tigrayan Defense Forces lay down its arms, then whatever Isaias Afwerki decides to do, he would then do. The eyes of the world will not be watching this. It may be some elements of the corrupt and insidious African Union. It'll be the intelligence agencies of the former state of Ethiopia, the Abiy loyalist forces inside of Tigray. And again, this is a big hypothetical if, because the situation right now is what you can see on my map. The Tigrayan Defense Forces control Mekelle. They control most of the towns north and south of Mekelle. They were able to successfully defend Adigrat. They have Adwa partially besieged. They have turned the B-30 highway into the highway of hell. And they continue to prevent Abiy loyalist forces from proceeding north, past Maichu, this area here. So the situation on the ground right now, militarily speaking, is a much better situation than what the Tigrayan Defense Forces faced in late 2020 and throughout most of 2021 prior to Operation Alula kicking off. So it's very tough to fully to get your head around this agreement and what this agreement says. If we were looking at a transparent democracy in which the entity right now that is the Abiy loyalist forces operated under the guise of integrity and due process and law, then you could look at this so-called peace agreement possibly a little different. But that's not what this is. That's not what currently exists. You have a despotic regime, the likes of North Korea, in Eritrea. And many of those forces are in the Tigray region right now. Nothing has even been talked about the removal of the Eritrean army. And then again, the way the rule of law is disregarded inside the former state of Ethiopia. If you oppose Abiy Ahmed and you live in Addis Ababa, there is a very good chance federal police forces, intelligence agents of the Abiy Ahmed regime show up at your home, evict you from your house, seize your property, and throw you in jail. And then quite possibly something much, much worse. So under those conditions, with the disregard of constitutional law, how is anything written on paper accepted? Especially what occurred in South Africa. I think there's a lot of questions going around right now in terms of what happened in South Africa. And one cannot help but ask that question. But as the status quo sits right now, there is no peace agreement. It's a piece of paper. Abiy Ahmed, the Abiy loyalist forces, continue airstrikes against the Tigrayan Defense Forces. Within the last 24 hours, after the agreement was signed, there's been further airstrikes. So we'll have to continue to watch this, track this. But again, right now, I don't believe at this point we will see the disarmament of the Tigrayan Defense Forces. And no matter what the TPLF thinks, if this is ultimately accepted, again, highly improbable, this would be a death pact. Because what happens next after the world attention and what little world attention is paying attention to what is happening right now goes away, it would be a slaughter. And it'll be done in the dark of night with no one looking. Have a good day.